Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Hippest Hippos. It's a free Saleabration stamp set which you can get in July and in August. And you get it for a qualifying spend of £45. So if you're putting in an order for some cardstock or some paper or something else that you've seen in the catalogue, don't forget, every £45 you spend, you can get something for free. Hippest Hippos, absolutely lovely. You have got sweet little hippos, nice little sentiments, and it's a red rubber stamp set. Red rubber. I've obviously die cut them out because you get a die set as well, which you can get for another £45. But we're just talking about the this one today, and I thought we would make something using up a few scraps as well. So I have taken, where's my base bit on here? So I had this left over from the back of a card that I was using, and I've just cut a little mat to go in there, which allows all of the little stitching to show. We're not going to be using this as such, but we are going to be using it with a pile of little scraps. So I've got all sorts of little scraps in here, and I thought we would do a very simple and quick background, which will work quite well with the hippo. Says me reaching for some glue. I've got two on the go at the moment because they're both fairly low, so I'm just making sure that I've got some glue left on these. So what I need to do is I am going to cover this with some wet glue. You can do it with any type of glue that you've got. It just happens to be that I've got some wet glue that I really enjoy using, so I'm going to do it on there, and just make sure you've got your edges done. Okay, and then I have literally just cut some little tiny strips in the background blue. So this blue, which is the Starry Sky, and some pinks because we're going to do the ballerina, and if you look at those together they work beautifully. So these are just scraps of pink, doesn't really matter what you've got, and I'm going to do them in just in a line like this. So I'm going to do all sorts of little pieces in here. So let's have the dark and the light. I think this is Flirty Flamingo and Polished Pink, and then this is, I think is, could be Bumblebee, could be Crushed Curry. They are literally little scraps, so whatever scraps you've got over, just use those. And then we're going to have a piece of the blue in on there just to pick up the background. Now let's do that again. Have we got another? We've got a pink one, different size, doesn't matter because it's literally just about filling it up. I'm not going too far over the top, and I'm doing straight lines instead of doing it, you know, quite often we'll do it zigzags. I want them straight this time because I think it'll work better for what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to take this one, which is the paler one, and just take that in. So, and then we'll have another bit of the yellow. These are smaller ones. It's quite nice to have them in different sizes. And then we need another blue piece. Just making sure that they come up, whoops, tight to the edge, so that you're making sure that they're as straight as you can get. Now I'm just going to take my snips and take off this bottom piece, because then there's bits that I can use again. Like that. So let's have a look. We've got a pink. So let's put the pink in. we've got this other pink, which is this one. Like that, and then I think there's just room for a little tiny bit of yellow. So I'm just going to try and maybe not, maybe it's just going to be a little bit too much. We'll see. Just going to squish it on the edge and see. No, it's not, it's such a tiny piece, I'm not going to worry about that bit. So let's take this off of here. And then let's make sure that we take all of these little pieces off of here. Oops, that pulled back a bit, didn't it? There we go. And then I might have to just trim this just a tad. Yes, I'm going to. So I'm just going to get my trimmer and then very carefully make sure that it's all attached. I'm just going to trim it down just a tad because when you're using scraps, they're not necessarily going to be straight, and it's just slightly off on there. So I'm just going to take that down from there like that, so that's right on the border there, and I'm going to take it just down on here as well. Like that. I'm doing it backwards and forwards because I'm cutting through a couple of layers and I want it to cut nicely. Then I'm just going to trim this little edge off here like that, and the bottom bit is fine. So that's our piece, and if we then put it onto here, which it will work quite nicely, you have this really lovely colourful background. So when we put our little hippo on, it's got something to really contrast with. So if I then take my background here, which again is the coordinating designer series paper, put that in on here, can put it just at a slight angle, put that up with dimensionals, and I think that that will look lovely. What I might do is I might put it onto some white card, I'm not sure. So hippo, I've stamped the hippo out. Now you can get the die, but I wanted to show you that you don't necessarily need to have the die, and you can just literally just fussy cut it out because it's not a huge image. I'm going to colour it, but I'm just going to show you that you can fussy cut it out. So if you've only got one £45, you know, one free thing to get, and you want to get these ones, then it's a lovely way of doing it. So you don't have to worry too much about it. I'm just leaving a little bit of a border, because if you leave a little bit of a border, it is easier to die cut it out. And then just take it up on here, get to his little ears. If you turn the paper as you go, now you can see it's catching here, so don't be afraid to just cut it straight off. And then we'll take it up from here, pick this one up again, in on his little ears. It's got these little swirly bits at the top, so, and I keep saying he because I always think of all things as being he, but this is a little girl because it's a little ballerina hippo. So let's just put this up on here, turn it round. And you can see it's not too difficult a shape to just go round on. So, you know, don't be overly worried if you don't want to get the dies. The dies are actually brilliant. And I've shown you how to do things with the dies that you don't have to do anything to do with hippos. So you can get the dies on their own if you don't like hippos. And I know not everybody's into these cutesy ones. But again, a lot of people are. We've had so many different ones. I was trying to remember all the ones we've had from chickens to otters to yeah, all sorts of things. Right, so that's our little guy. So you can see it doesn't take long. Now what I've done is I've stamped out where the little tutu is, because I thought it would be fun to have the tutu in one of the colours that we're doing for the background. So I'm just going to cut the little tutu out, and again it's just a swirly pattern, so it's not going to be too difficult to literally just take it out. Again, I'm leaving a bit of a border because it can go literally on top, so it's not going to be too over the top. And you could do the little tiny bits of the ballet shoes as well. I'm not going to do that because then that starts to get very fussy cutting. So if you're somebody who enjoys fussy cutting, then by all means, but I'm literally just taking down this little bit on here so that the tutu can actually go right on top of the hippo, and it's then a real little dress. And I'm just looking at that to see, I think I need to just take this in here just a little bit like that. Okay, so that is then going to be stuck on like that and work beautifully. So what I need to do though is I need to just colour the hippo in a little bit. So I'm just going to get my greys, and I have got light and dark smoky slate, because I think the smoky slate's quite a nice nice colour and easy way of doing it. If you, and I think I've shown you before, but for those that haven't seen, so we're going to do for the dark, we're going to do it where the shadows are, so just behind, down here on the face, and you can see me doing little dots because then it doesn't smudge, and like that. So that's the, is that the dark? Yes, that is the dark. And then we want underneath where the little face is, so that would be dark because that would be in shadow, and underneath where the tutu is, like that. And that's probably about right, I think. So then we can get the light, and we're literally just going to then colour in around on the hippo, avoiding where the eyes are. Just over the eyebrows. I'm leaving the eyes as they are. You could put a little bit of blue in them if you wanted to, but I think I'm going to leave them as they are. And I would normally not have cut this out first. I would colour it and then cut it out, but because I wanted to show you the fussy cutting, it will just save just a little bit of time. So let's just go around on here. Oh, his little eye, wandering on his eyes, but you can go through where his mouth and his nose is because the pale is quite nice colour. And then I'm going through now. You can do the little toes, you can, you know, colour the fingernails if you want to and make it really sort of sweet and girly, but I think the tutu for me is enough. And then I'm just going down round on the tummy with the lighter, just down on here. There we go. So that's now coloured in. Oh, I've gone over the, going to do the little toes in a different colour, and I might even do that even though I've coloured over it. I should be able to just take a little bit of a bright pink. I haven't got the right coloured, I haven't got polished pink in there, so I'm hoping, because I've done the grey first of all, I can just do just a little bit of pink over the top, and then it's not going to be overly bright, if you see what I mean. Okay, so those are the little ones on the bottom. Then we've got our little skirt or tutu, and I might actually glue straight down on here on this bit, as well as gluing some of this, because it's quite a small piece and I want it to glue on quite well. So I'm paying particular attention to the side pieces, and then we should be able to just take this in off there, up onto that little bit. So you've now got a little bit of a layer with the tutu, which is rather good. I'm going to turn it over, give it a press out so then the glue doesn't stick, and there you've got your sweet little hippo in on top. So if we then go back to, I'm just going to take this over on that, because we don't want glue going everywhere, do we? So if I put this over this way, we then take our card back. We've got this with the base, we've got that which is going to go on here like that and sit in the middle, because I've trimmed it down a little bit, and then we can have our hippo dancing off like that. And as I say, I don't think I'm going to, I might just do a little bit of a white mat in. So let's have a look and see what size this is and see whether I can get it in on, yes, I think I can. So what I need to do is to just have a quick look at the size of this, because I want it to pop just a little bit. So I've got this scrap over. This is 2.5, isn't it? So let me have a look and see what this is on here. I'm going to take it as far as I can on this bit and then trim it down. So that comes to there. And I put this on here, which is fine. And then this last bit needs to be just probably 1/4 inch. So that's 2. Let's put it at 2 3/4 if I can take it to there. It might be a little bit big, might have to take it off. I always try and do it and then see, yeah, it needs a little bit more. Maybe another 1/8 inch. I need to replace my blade as well, because that's just getting a little low. So hopefully I haven't taken too much off of here now. No, that's just about right. So just trim it down to how you want it, and then I'm going to put that in on here, and it just gives that little bit of white on there, which I think works quite well. So we can then put this one in on here, that one in on there. Little hippo's going to stand up with dimensionals and going to go on the top. And then all we need is You're Always On Point, which I rather like. I don't think I've even used that one yet. You're Always On Point. So let's get this one out. And you can see, if you've never used our red rubbers before, that we have, they have just a little piece at the back that you can take off, and then you can put the stickers on, which I'm not going to do at the moment because I don't necessarily need them on this. So You're Always On Point. I'm going to do it in, could do it in Starry Sky. I might just do it in black because the hippo was done in the black. I've got a little piece of this left over, got a little piece of that left over. So let's just put this in on here. You're always on point. And then we can cut that out this way. Just take it all the way around. So as I say, you don't have to use dies. I've just used, as I say, that with just some scissors. And then I'm going to just put a little scrap here, so I'm just going to put it on there, and then I shall cut it out. So I'm just going to glue, and this is how I sometimes do it, rather than cutting it out to start off with. When I've got just a little piece like this and I want to have a mat on it, I would just put it into a little corner like this, so we know that we've got 3 of them exactly right, because or 2 of them exactly right, so we can then quite easily just take our snips and take it down, turn it round, and then I can just take it down on this bit. Like that. So we can then have this bit coming in on here, that bit on there, and I'm not sticking it down because I'm going to take something out of that paper, because you know me, I don't waste anything. That on there, that's going to go up with dimensionals, so she's literally balancing in the center, and then you've got the sentiment, you're always on point. So we've used up some little bits of scrap. We've got the little hippo balancing on the side of the you're always on point, and it makes a very sweet, simple, easy card to do. So I'm going to finish that off, stick it all down, put this up with dimensionals so that it looks lovely. I shall probably put it just slightly off center, because I quite like it when it's off center, and I might even do a mat for the designer series paper, I don't know. And again, you can do that depending on the amount that you've got. But I thought it made a sweet little card and used up some scraps as well. So as always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.